England's basically back under lockdown. The Prime Minister has announced of new restrictions for England. More than likely, if this continues, it will expand to more parts of the UK. And typically, from what we've seen last time, America is usually about 6 weeks behind of what's going on in the UK for the most part. And of course, with the coming election for next week, depending upon who comes into power, many Americans may be wondering, are we next?
Boris Johnson just announced a renewed lockdown in England. So this isn't the entire UK. This is in England, and this happened just moments ago. I want to get now to Max Foster. He is covering this for us in London. Tell us, this is the second lockdown. Tell us what this is going to look like.
Well, it's a 4-week lockdown from Thursday. It has to go through Parliament, but we assume it will go through Parliament. It won't be as strict as the first English lockdown because schools will remain open, but bars and restaurants will have to close. And what's really worrying about this is the type of language they've been using to describe the scale of the problem. This isn't something that Boris Johnson was planning to do. It's very much a U-turn, but he's looked at the numbers, and we've just seen the number of coronavirus cases going over 1 million here in England, and that's a huge concern. But he's looking at the National Health Service, and he's talking about a potential medical and moral disaster if the number of hospital admissions continue to go up at the rate they currently are. He's concerned about the National Health Service collapsing in a matter of weeks unless something is done.
The UK currently has 11,000, it's like 10,900 cases, right? Out in the UK. There are 67 million people that live in the UK, and the UK is basically getting shut down because of cases. Now, when you look at hospitalizations, to population, it is literally 0.0001% of the population. Not 1% of the population, 0.0001% of the population that are requiring medical treatment. And we don't even know if all those patients are actually symptomatic for the virus or not symptomatic. They just tested positive and are in the hospital, and just supposedly tested positive and are in the hospital for who knows what. We don't even know the age ranges of these individuals who are in the hospital. They could all be geriatric end-of-life patients who literally revolve into the hospital system month after month. Heart failure, uncontrolled diabetes, dialysis. We have absolutely no idea. The amount of information that is given to people is it's that small. It's that small. All you get is cases and crackdown. That's it. No sort of detail. And of course, as they say, the devil is in the details. You have to always know what's in the details of the data. But if you actually don't take the time to look at the data, then you become fearful of cases, spikes in cases. And of course, this is what the media, the mainstream media, of course, is trying to do. And it's not just here, but it's in many other countries. And it's important, at the very least, take time to look at the data, do the math, do the simple math that it takes to realize what the infection rate is, what is the rate of hospitalization, what is the death rate, to really have an understanding of, should you really be that worried about contracting the virus, or be worried about whether or not someone who does get test positive is going to end up losing their life. Because there is a huge survival rate. And as a result of that, that's where you should be able to make your decisions as a community, not based off of someone testing positive, but then, of course, not being symptomatic. It does not matter how many people test positive if they never enter into the hospital. If they never require the help of medical personnel like me, it doesn't matter. You can have tens of millions of people, but if every single one of them are non-symptomatic, it doesn't matter.